This person Sabs. What up, Sabs? Thanks for being here first, right out the fucking gate. And then, of course, Carnage is always in the house, man. But yeah, guys, sorry, a little behind. We just had to get started. We had to chit chat for a second. But yeah, so tonight we're gonna be talking about three. Whoops, where the hell did it go? Okay. I gotta kill some of my tabs that are open. There we go. So yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the first thing we're talking about tonight is Joe Biden has signed sweeping executive orders that target big tech and aims to push competition in the economy. That's a long one. It's gonna be the first one. And then Biden fires Trump appointed head of Social Security Administration, and of course he refuses to leave, like a good little fucking cult activist. And then the third one is China vows retaliation after U.S. blacklists some companies. We're talking about those. There's also another one about the Survivor contestant who's working for Project Veritas. She sounds like a real fucking lovely woman. And at the last second, I threw in this thing about the Cuban protests. I don't know if we'll get to that tonight. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Oop. Late boy, aggressively liberal. And of course, Arif always says Liberia. He always says it. I love it. I have no reason why either. He's never commented that. Only he comments that and I never hear from him again. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, you good to go, Mia?
Sure.
Yeah, this first one is just going to be a long dog, man. It's just going to be a long one. But we'll get it done. So we're only a minute 30 in. We're already starting. Perfect. Not wasting our time flapping our gums like we did last week for like 15 minutes. Oh, here we go again. Yes, military guy right there. Awesome. Mia's like, yo, easy killer. But anyway, all right. You ready, Mia?
As long as that doesn't get read out loud, I don't have to explain anything to any children, so that's fine.
We'll leave that alone. All right. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us on the low. Let's see if we can change some minds tonight. Mia, what do you got for us?
Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is incredibly important. It's Biden signing a sweeping executive order that targets big tech and aims to push competition in U.S. economy. Alex, I believe, shared this.
Mm-hmm. Alex Cheney.
Yeah. Very good article. Very long article, so be prepared here. President Joe signed the executive order to promote competition in the U.S. economy. The order covers a large range of policies with 72 initiatives by more than a dozen federal agencies, according to the White House. One part targets a key business strategy used by Silicon Valley companies. Another aims to lower prescription drug prices and cracks down on big tech and internet service providers, among several other provisions. One of the ones I particularly like is it will ban or limit non-compete agreements, which is what like Charter has, if you've got Charter there with Time Warner and whatnot. So that way there's a consistent price regardless of who you go to. And there's not really a competition. And then they choose not to service the exact same area, so there's no overlap. And boom, you've got pretend competition.
Well, those are called agreements of monopolies.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Exactly. It's just a little loophole that they're using right now that they shouldn't be allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
The order seeks to encourage the Federal Communications Commission to reintroduce a so-called nutrition label for internet service providers. Awesome. I would just assume it means like how much bandwidth you are told you're getting versus how much you actually get consistently.
Yeah, they ramp it down and shit after an hour worth of use. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You know, it would be basically a way to make sure that they were giving you what they claimed they were giving you.
Yeah. And it calls for the FCC to restrict early termination fees and to ban exclusivity deals that currently limit apartment buildings and rental units to only one internet provider. Again, another monopoly. So like if you have, let's say AT&T internet service, which is shit. And then you have Verizon or Xfinity, and they both come to agree like, okay, we won't compete with you at that housing complex for 1,000 units. You don't compete with us at this housing unit for 1,000 units. And we both get to raise the prices the same and control the market. That's what it is. It's like, it's another litigated monopoly, which is illegal. So now Biden has repealed that, which I do agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also calls on the FCC to restore the agency's net neutrality rules for broadband companies, which, you know, should not have been removed in the first place. If I remember correctly, they cited bot accounts that were apparently actually being made by the FCC.
Yeah.
To publicly comment on how great it is to not have net neutrality.
Well, and here's the thing, like with the net neutrality, it would have allowed internet providers like Xfinity I have here that says, okay, we're going to give you access to stuff, but we're going to slow down your streaming capabilities unless you pay more. So in other words, poor people have slower internet speeds, period. And the same thing with, like, I think it's access to certain sites and stuff. You can't access YouTube unless you pay $5 more a month for this or that or whatever. It just opens up to too much bullshit.
Yeah, you can really start. I think it's micro granulizing the payments down if you give them too much room. They could really just. Yeah. It's basically what they do with like the doctor's offices, right, where they are here in the U.S. charging for like the cotton balls and the.
Yeah.
They could do that without these net neutrality rules, and that they haven't yet is just a matter of time, really.
Well, and aggressively liberal here in the comments is trying to clarify for us, so it's very thankful. Thank you. He says a trust is an agreement between multiple companies, such as price fixing, right? A monopoly, of course, is a single company having a chokehold on a market, right? But we're saying that creates that by doing these agreements is, okay, you have a monopoly on this housing project or this apartment complex or this neighborhood or this whole zip code. Like in my hometown of Hartford, Michigan here, that I used to live in, one service provider for phones. I was paying $40 a month to not call anybody on my home phone. I had a cell phone. You know, I said, I'm not doing that no more. And you couldn't get nobody else to come in. They had a non-competition clause as well through the city. I think the city must have got a bump on that. Must have got a little kickback, which is probably illegal. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that for sure. I didn't know the difference between the different, yeah, and SAPS is very much zip code driven for sure. But yeah, so that's how they do it, man. They create little pockets of monopolies with these little agreements, these trusts, you know, and the price fix. And they say, okay, we're going to charge 112 for the next 8 months. And they're going to make it 130. You do the same, because we can both say, well, the prices have went up because of gas prices, because of yada yada, because of COVID or whatever. They just bullshit us. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Where was we at? Yeah. It also takes aim at Silicon Valley business model, the collection and use of large amounts of consumer data, and the incentive for tech companies with multiple lines of businesses to cross-promote their own services at the expense of competition. The Assistant Attorney General in the Antitrust Division is among the myriad positions yet to be filled. The office is charged with enforcing the sweeping executive order, but yet they don't have an attorney general for that. So I don't know how that all works, honestly.
Maybe they hire somebody real quick.
Just get it approved. Go through Congress and stop fucking around talking about Russia Gate still, or talking about, I don't know, man, just a bunch of bullshit, you know. And then there's another top Democratic official quoted here. He goes, can any of this be effectively implemented without an attorney general for antitrust? And he says, no, it's not possible, which, okay, so do nothing. Fuck that, you know.
It's always better to have a goal than to just let it sit. Like, even if the goal is not attainable, you can make steps towards making that goal attainable.
Well, they have an acting assistant attorney general. Okay, then step up. That's just all there is to it. You know, until you fill the position, this person's going to do it until then. So, yeah. Get a qualified person, or a more qualified person, or just let this person, this man or woman, just do what they can. You know, so I got no problem with that. Just do whatever you can to make it happen. Yeah.
Oh, another really good one there, the right to repair. People have been wanting that one for a while. That's how you can't touch your phone without ruining the warranty, even though other people could buy the parts and do the work for less than Apple or less than Xbox. But if you touch it, they get to say, nope, you've broken the warranty, you've used it as not intended, and we're not responsible for any problems, therefore.
Yeah, that's how Apple and all those other people kind of bully you into using their stuff, which is upcharged. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Nope, no problems with that. Everybody, that seems like that should be like, I would feel like that's bipartisan. We've got a few people here who have some conservative views in the audience. I feel like that's bipartisan. The right to repair.
Yeah.
Sounds like very small business friendly and,
Yep. And it's time effective, man. Who's got time to mail your shit in to Apple? You won't see it for weeks, This is I find interesting, this article. Biden executive order also continues the Trump administration historic push to allow states to import prescription drugs from Canada, and it directs the FDA to work with states to safely import drugs, which Biden has supported during his presidential campaign. Several states, including Florida, I don't know why they include Florida, have expressed interest in importing drugs as a way to lower costs. Again, why don't we have our government, lobbying against these people and say, hey, we won't pay more for your insulin or whatever it is, but of course that'll be too close to Medicare for all, and it'll freak people out on the right, but yeah.
Yeah, Canada's not too happy with the plan, apparently, though. The experts question whether the country has enough of a supply to make a significant dent in U.S. drug prices, which it probably does not. And manufacturers have also filed a lawsuit to stop the effort.
Of course they have. They want to make their money.
Yeah. I don't think that it really would make a dent. I think that there's enough people who are just more than willing to follow along with the path laid in front of them than to go find these side avenues, that there's not really going to be a significant dent in any prices or anything by opening up that channel. But it's still good to have the option. You should.
Yeah. And there's a couple of other weird little things they throw in here at the end. It directs the Department of Human and Health Services to issue a plan within 45 days to combat high prescription drug prices and price gouging. But that's really just like, okay, define it. There's no definition. There's no bumpers. There's no guardrails on it, but it is what it is. Also, is a crackdown on shipping costs for companies and prescription drug costs for Americans. It will direct the Department of Transportation to make rules forcing airlines to refund your money when the in-flight Wi-Fi doesn't work. It also directs the USDA to issue new rules that offer new protections for farmers and new rules defining product of the USA labels. So a couple of really weird ones at the end, like, okay, but I don't understand. I understand he's doing all this through executive orders, but this should be some very easy stuff to get through the Congress. But of course, Congress is non-functioning with these without the filibuster being changed. No.
Even on the most basic things, Republicans are refusing to let through, just as a nya. Like, that's pretty much the whole entire thing. It's like, ha ha ha, we can stop you from doing anything. Ha ha.
Yeah. There's actually an interesting comment here from Matt. He says, Americans subsidize the rest of the world's low-cost medications. Big Pharma makes all their profits from the U.S. and can give other countries lower prices. So are you saying that if we don't pay high prices, the rest of the world has to pay higher prices?
I think that's an experiment worth trying first before we decide that's going to happen.
I'm interested in that, though. I don't know enough about that, honestly. I don't know. I haven't heard that before. That's actually a good point. I'm not sure if that's. I think what it is, it'll dip into their profits. But here's the thing: other countries have limited.
They make insane profit. It's not like they're hurting for profits either. It's not all going into the science. We know that for a fact. So if that were to bear out, then maybe we just become more science for our buck.
Well, and we are the ones paying for R&D, for research and development, not them. They pay I think it's like 7 to 11% of their budget is for research and development. The rest is for stock buybacks and incentives and stock shares, you know. But I think there's a pretty funny quote here from Biden. He goes, I'm going to do my Biden impression now. I'm going to work on it, okay? Let me be clear. Capitalism without competition isn't capitalism. It's exploitation. I agree with him.
Better than Colbert.
Oh, God. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, so without healthy competition, big players can change and charge whatever they want and treat you however they want. And for too many Americans, that means accepting a bad deal for things you can't go without. So we know we've got a problem, a major problem, but we also have an incredible opportunity. That's the rest of that Biden quote. You know, so I like where he's saying his head is at, which means he's been listening, which I'm okay with that. Like, he's hearing people out, but it's not really far enough as far as I'm concerned, but it's incrementalism in the right direction. Yeah, and yeah, also here too. Go ahead.
If you're going to force things through on executive order too, you can't be as bold without having the threat of it being overturned. So,
well, it only lasts as long as this person's in office. You know, they can all be overturned the next, election. So, of course, it's not the full fix. It needs to be, passed through Congress and become a bill. But you got to do what you got to do for now. And I understand. I'm glad he's doing it. But we really need to put pressure. And here's the thing. I think this could be considered a smart move on their part to make these executive orders and say, listen, now we can go to the swing states, if you will, to the swing elections in 2022 in the midterm. Say, listen, if we don't get this thing continue, if we don't get more Democrats in office, then we can say bye-bye to all these things we have going on right now. This is all going to be over in 2 years, or no progress for the next 2 years at all.
Yeah. The midterms are going to be incredibly important this time. We need that energy to actually be there, or we will lose everything. It
2 years of what do you call that? Lame duck.
And we can't do anything, let alone these little incremental things. The incremental things stop some suffering. I know that a lot of people are like, well, it's not enough. Okay, but not enough is still better than nothing. It's still better than nothing. So fight for everything you can get and then keep fighting for more. Don't lose ground.
Well, I like what you said right there, because this I want to go back to one of his other quotes in here. He said, workers should be free to take a better job if someone offers it. If your employer wants to keep you, he or she should have to make it worth your while to stay. That's the kind of competition that leads to better wages and greater dignity of work. I agree, but also what makes it more competitive, guys, Medicare for all. If everyone had healthcare covered through not private insurance, right? Because I'm not for single payer healthcare, right? But I can make a fight for it. I can actually make a good case for it right here, which I don't agree with the actual implementation, but I agree with the point of it is if we had a single income or single payer healthcare, you could quit your job and go get a different job next week and not lose your healthcare. So that's a damn good cause, or a good case for Medicare for all single payer, which I don't even agree with, but it's a good talking point nonetheless. Like, I still think we should have a public option. But in this scenario, it makes sense to have a single payer to prove his point that, yeah, you should be able to leave your job and not have insurance be the reason you can't leave your job, not just pay. Pay is only part of the problem. I can't quit my job because of insurance, guys. Insurance. I make enough money to pay my bills, but I can't afford to quit this job for another job and have no insurance for 90 days. That's another part of this trap system, Uh-oh. I think Mia's freezing. Oh. Mia, you good? Let me turn off this banner. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, it looks like you're pixelating a little bit. Shoot.
Yeah, my internet's deciding to be glitchy early today.
Yeah, it's only 9:30. Oh man, that's gonna be tough.
It
Well,
probably will clear up a little bit.
yeah, it's already
But,
clearing up a little bit. Yeah, it's clearing up. But yeah, let's go ahead and just do an outro on this one then, just in case. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about this. Are you thumbs up or you thumbs down on the whole Biden idea of writing executive orders for like 70 something items?
72.
72, yep. Across I think 5 different agencies, I think it said, or 7 different agencies. Where'd they go to the top? A dozen. So yeah, he made wait, what did he say? I'm changing colors as I rock back and forth. Am I? Oh, probably because of the lighting isn't fucking great, because my bald ass head. It's like a light bulb. But yeah, so like, let us know what you guys think. Are you for this? Do you like this strategy of governance through executive order, which is only a temporary fix for permanent problems? Which of course most people wouldn't like that, but do you think it's the best way to go? And do you like all these changes? And also, guys, we're going to put a link to the original article in the description box when we make the clip for this. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. See you guys next time, and go read a book. All right, good deal. Okay. Yeah, man, the lighting is kind of wonky in here. Which side is this? That's that side? It's a little brighter. Now I'm brighter on both sides. Look how shiny that is. But yeah, so it looks like you're cleared up now, Mia. So looks like it's okay.
I think so.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the Biden's job. Rock back warm, rock forward cold. Yeah, I don't know. I'll try and stay still. How's that? Listen here, son. We do the best we can. What we got? We are a shoestring company, network, I guess you call it, whatever it is. But yes, we'll jump on over to the next one, which is Biden fires the head of Social Security Administration. Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah.
If you don't want us to be a shoestring company anymore, you can subscribe, you can donate, you can do a variety of things to help this grow and be a little less ragtag and a little bit more professional.
Yeah, we have the whole. We have Patreon, of course. As little as $5, and then we have our GoFundMe, which is posted our links as well. But yeah, guys, we got to get this thing off the ground, man. We're ready to go. We're ready to go full time here, not full time, but daily content as a collective. I think I know what it is. This damn microphone shadows my face too. But it's hard to keep it close enough so you can hear me. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and rock out to the next one. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. And fuck off, boys. All right. How about this? Hey, guys, let's see if we can change some minds. What do you got next for us, Mia?
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about how Biden is firing a Trump-appointed head of Social Security Administration, and that guy is refusing to leave. He fired Andrew Saul, who had been appointed by former President Trump, but Saul insists he will still sign in to work on Monday morning remotely from his New York home. His quote, "I consider myself the term-protected commissioner of Social Security," Saul told the Washington Post, characterizing his firing as a Friday night massacre. Biden had asked on Friday morning for the resignation of both Saul and David Black, the deputy commissioner. Black resigned. Saul, not so much. Biden appointed Kilolo I'm not going to say that right, so I'm going to spell it for you guys. Kijakaci. Maybe Kijakazi, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
don't
good,
want to. I don't want to. That's awful, man. Okay,
it's a tough one.
I'm going to restart and just skip over that.
Let's just say Kilolo Kijikazi. That sounds about right. Kijikazi. Kilolo Kijikazi. Okay, we'll try it again.
Okay. Biden appointed Kilolo Kijakazi, currently the Deputy Commissioner for Retirement and Disability Policy, to lead the agency. Man, why don't you go for a little bit, dude?
Okay. The Social Security Administration is an independent agency, and the commissioner has a 6-year term that doesn't usually change when a new president moves into the White House. Saul's term was scheduled to end on January 19th, 2025. Democrats, as well as advocates for the elderly and disabled, had been pushing Biden to get rid of Saul since day one, as part due to his staunch anti-union stance. He's also accused of delaying stimulus checks and attempting to limit disability benefits. Yeah, but here's the thing: you're not elected. It's not an elected position.
I'm sorry, I need a second.
Yeah.
I do apologize. This is actually a Toby problem. He's not answering his phone, so I do need a few moments to go check on him real quick and talk to my husband.
Yep, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Yep, we'll take a pause. Good deal. Yeah, it's funny that he says he's showing up for work tomorrow. They're like, all they got to do is not let him log into work. It's simple fix. It's like, like a bully or a brat. I'm coming to work anyway. You're going to pay me. Here's the thing. Stop paying him. Like that guy on Office, what's that called? Office Space, where the guy kept showing up to work and not getting paid. I think that's an easier way to do it. Okay, we're just not going to pay you. Trust me, you won't show up to work. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. These people are such. Okay, here we go. Kid Ja Zay Jazzy. Wait. Kid Ja KZ. What up, JJ? Kid Ja KZ. Yeah. I think it's kind of how we said it. Kind of how we tried. But yeah, it's pretty funny that he's like, But again, guys, this is not someone that's publicly elected to serve a term. There's no terms. There's a 6-year appointment, but I have to look that up while she's doing that. I'm gonna look this up. So let's see here. How do I do that? How is the Social Security Administration director appointed? Let's see what that says. Search, fool. So yeah, it says section 702. It says there shall be in the administration a commissioner of Social Security, in this title referred to as the commissioner, who shall be appointed by the president by and with the advice and consent from the Senate. That's it. It doesn't say anything else. That's the actual government website, ssa.gov. You guys, in case you guys want to look that up. But yeah. And so if they, it's pretty pathetic. This guy knows the rules too. And yet he wants to boo-hoo and kind of throw a tantrum. Like, I'm still coming to work on Monday. Oh, okay. Again, I just say don't pay him. Stop his paycheck. And he won't show up. Yeah, that won't work out. Let's see here. So maybe, let me see here. Where'd it go? There we go. Oh, okay. We're back.
Hi, my hair fluffed up like a poodle in the meantime.
Yeah. So he says, can he be fired after appointment? Yeah, it doesn't say anything about, it's a 6-year term, but it's not like, it just says appointments. That's it. It doesn't say anything about, it's an appointed thing by the president. If the president changes, they can unappoint your ass, I imagine. No problem, right? While you're gone, we're looking up, is it legal to, or like, how do you select the commissioner of the Social Security administration, and it says that it's appointed by the president with the with the support of the Senate. It said, but yeah, so we can just pick everything good on your end. You good?
Yeah, everything should be okay, I think. Toby's still running late, but
Okay.
probably just his phone died or something.
Okay.
We tried.
Yeah.
If
All right,
he comes in and there's a loud barking, it's my dogs freaking out because he's late.
So I'm gonna start back over here, and it says in March. You can see where, you can see it. Yeah. So in March, 3 Democrat lawmakers called for Saul to be fired, citing his aggressive anti-union activities, and accused him of pursuing a range of anti-beneficiary and anti-employee policies. So Saul had undermined and politicized Social Security disability benefits, terminated the agency's telework policy that was utilized by up to 25% of the agency's workforce, not repaired SSA's relationships with relevant federal employee unions, including in the context of COVID-19 workplace safety planning, reduced due process protections for benefits appeals hearings, and taken other actions to run contrary to the mission of the agency and the president's policy agenda. Yikes. So this sounds like
grounds for firing.
That is like, if these claims are true, it sounds like he's trying to undo and undermine the president of the United States. So, bye-bye. Again, don't tell him he can't come to work. Just stop paying him. It's just that simple. Stop paying him. His ass won't come to work. It's like the guy from Office Space with the funny glasses. Where's my check? But he also did burn down the office. So, in the show, if you guys haven't seen it. But it's just what's that?
I love that show so much. It's been a really long time, but man, so iconic.
Office Space is classic. Let me see here. So yeah, Saul's firing marks the latest instance of Biden seeking to remove a Trump-appointed head of an agency, an independent agency that have historically stayed on from previous administrations. Last month, fired the head of the Federal Housing Finances Agency after the Supreme Court ruled he had the authority to do so. Saul said he was very upset by the dismissal that came without warning. Some Republicans immediately blasted the move. Who gives a shit what they think? This removal would be an unprecedented and dangerous politicization of the Social Security Administration, tweeted Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He himself is, of course, known for his bipartisanship and lack of political bias. That's actually kind of a funny little quote here at the end.
That's actually my addition.
That's your ad lib. Gotcha.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself when I read that. Like, dude, you are the embodiment of the thing you are claiming is a problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and we have another great comment here. He says, it's probably the same as any other cabinet position. They're appointed by a president, and they change hands. They sometimes change. But it does say in this article that's not historically common as an independent agency. But this guy is doing the opposite of what the president is leading with. So it doesn't matter what your D or R, even if it's a Democrat, you're not doing what he asked. You're not following his lead. So yeah, it just pointless.
You're not doing the job, you aren't getting paid.
Yeah, just stop paying him. He won't come to work.
Yeah. Don't enforce any of his stuff either. Like, let him write on papers and stuff, but just like post them on the refrigerator in the break room.
Well, he works remotely from home too. Just turn off his login credentials and stop paying him. I guess you really don't work here no more. That's easy enough. Simple, right? But yeah, so this is kind of a funny one. I'm not sure how I feel about this because it is an independent agency, but if the person's doing the exact opposite of what the administration's goals are, you got to go. So I got no problem with this.
Yeah, that's the job. You do the job, or you get kicked out of the job.
Yeah, it's pretty typical though. But I don't know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Let us know. Are you for? Are you okay? Or you're not okay with any president abruptly ending someone's job, their appointed position in an independent agency, because they have a clash of ethics, or they're not going in the same direction, or he's, like someone says here, a defiant public servant. Yeah, just let us know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Of course, while you're here, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, let somebody else know about this content. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time, and go read a book. And your light just kind of went dim or something.
Yeah, I need 30 more seconds. It's actually, I have company, so give me 30 seconds while I find out what's going on with Toby.
Okay, no problem. All right, cool. And of course, Mitch McConnell has a problem with everything. So, okay, like he's a leader. It's so pathetic. He's like, well, this is clearly bipartisan. Fucking McConnell. And I wonder what happened to him. He was pretty beat up there back in January. His hands were all bruised up. His face was bruised up. He was kind of shaky. Everybody thought he's on his last leg, and he's still here. Still kicking and screaming and trying to make shit happen from the minority, using the damn filibuster for everything. Imagine if we didn't have the filibuster right now. If there was no filibuster and they just voted on it, and you have more Democrats than Republicans, period, what we could get accomplished right now. I wonder.
I am very upset with the filibuster.
Yeah. Infrastructure thing would be done by now. The voting reforms would be done. What's that one called?
Was it HR 1?
Yes. HR 1 would be through already. And then that would give oversight of all the states. It's like, this is the bare minimum. You're free to decide more, but this is the bare minimum of access you need to have. And other states have passed over 100 bills and policies being proposed to suppress votes. You know, so especially in places like Texas and Georgia and shit that are damn near purple or flipping blue like Georgia, but Texas was a little bit closer than they were comfortable with. So in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, you know, all the swing states always talked about on the campaign trail is close, and they want to make it harder. Excuse me. They want to make it harder for people to vote, especially in specific areas. It's not everybody. They want specific people to have a harder access, which is low income neighborhoods.
You hear about the guy that stood in line for like 12 hours to vote, and they're arrested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they made it illegal in some states. I think it was Missouri or Arkansas. We covered this a while back, where they made it illegal to give them food or water if they're waiting in line. What? Who gives a shit? Like, who gives a shit? I don't know, man.
Isn't the point of a democracy for the people to, come together and make a decision?
Well, and here's the thing. If you're a Republican, you want less overreach of the government. But you're okay with the government overreaching by telling people what you can give them in line to vote. Only that line, not the line to get into Disney World, not the line to get into Walmart on Black Friday. You know what I mean? It's so crazy. But they have no problem with government overreach when it comes to voting lines.
The only time I was in a system that oppressive was when I went to...
I don't know about this. In some states, you can vote as a felon, as a previous felon, So I don't know about that one. Waiting in line. I think all people that serve their time should be able to vote, period. Personally. Yeah, go ahead, Mia.
The only time I was in a system that oppressive where they wouldn't even let you give food or water to people was when I was auditioning for American Idol once a long, long time ago.
American Idol. What did you sing?
Yeah. Oh God, I can't even freaking remember what I sang. It was dumb. I know that. And I accidentally talked to the wrong person and thanked them for the experience. I went and approached the woman who looked like she was interested and paying attention to what was going on, whereas the guy was fiddling with stuff and not interested, which was my mistake. Apparently that was me that was not interesting to the actual producer. And he was incredibly offended by me thanking the assistant and said, actually, I'm the one you're talking to, and dismissed me. and I never auditioned for anything ever again.
Wow. Such a fragile ego, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the one you should be thanking, you insignificant peasant.
Well, my ego is pretty fragile too. But you know, he still has a job in the industry, and I let my dreams get crushed.
Yeah, there you go. That's the market that we have created, you know. Let me see here. The guy served his time in his probation. He didn't know he wasn't supposed to vote in the primary, only in the presidential. Oh, the guy's in line. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know the whole story on this one, honestly. About the guy that's waiting in line that had a felony. But yeah, so do you want to do the China vows to retaliate article? You got time?
Yeah, I got time.
Your signal looks good. And if your dogs come in, we'll just wait a second, you know. All right.
Yeah.
Let me put this banner back up there and see if that's okay. All right. Whoops. What did that say? Too many rules. Yeah. Too many rules is right. It should be real simple. If you're a U.S. citizen, you get to vote. If you're not actively in jail, you get to vote. The end. The fucking end. I think if you serve your time, your probation, your community service, you've paid all your fines, all that shit, you should have your record expunged first. Makes you employable. Secondly, you shouldn't. I think it's unconstitutional to tell someone they can't vote until they pay off their fines for whatever violation, which is another thing they do, you know. And so we have people that are waiting in line to vote that don't even know if it's legal or not still, and they're still waiting in line, and they want to put more hurdles in their way to keep them from voting. Oh, you didn't pay you owe $1,200 in fines from jail 6 years ago, you know, and yet they want to you know, create more hurdles for people to vote, you know.
Well, I mean, the whole judiciary system is pretty predatory. It would be very problematic for them and their flow of prisoners to the private industrial sector.
Yeah.
If they were to let the people who they're screwing over, you know, vote themselves out of being screwed over.
Yeah. Like I said, it should be a very simple rule. Are you in jail? No, then you can vote. Are you a U.S. resident? Yes, you can vote. If you want to have a state wants to demand a voter ID, you have to give them a free ID. That's it. You can't put any kind of barrier, a fiscal barrier in the way of voting. Let's see here. One line I liked from Yang was he identified that the incentives are all fucked up. You damn right they are, man. Privatized prisons, the incentives are fucked up. Privatized healthcare, system's fucked up, period. Everything that's got some kind of a cost incentive is usually fucked up. You know, so that's what I'll say about all that bullshit. So let's go ahead and let's talk about China with an I, not a Y, right? Trump's out. All right. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us again. What's up next on Alomia?
Tonight we're going to talk about China vowing to retaliate after the U.S. blacklisted a...
There's the puppy.
Yeah.
We'll just start over here in a second. It's no big deal.
Hi, Tobe.
What kind of dog is he?
Laura is a black lab rescue. So, you know, technically a mutt, but mostly black lab, chocolate lab.
Yes, but our search dog is a Malamute.
Yes, our search dog that went out to find Toby with Dad is a Malamute, Alaskan Malamute.
Found him, though?
Yeah, he's here. I will take the McNuggets. Thank you. Ah, excellent sweet and sour sauce. Most appreciated, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing home the not bacon because I don't like bacon. Okay.
Yeah. DJ Elf says, I really wonder what would happen if Yang got in regarding China because of his Taiwanese background. Yeah, man. he has a different bias, if you will, because his parents literally had to leave, not say leave, had to leave the country, but they're from Taiwan, you know. Yeah. All right, you want to start this over?
A lot about Taiwan. If anybody's ever curious, like you could probably like get her to give her a quick DM or something on Twitter. She'd tell you all about Taiwan, I think.
Who's that?
Fei Ku.
Fei Ku? Okay.
Yeah, she's got a pretty good grasp of Taiwan.
Thanks for joining us, Carnage. I'll probably jump in there and watch his live stream as well. Is he debating someone? I'd like to know about that. But yeah, Matt will be here tomorrow, I think. Wait. Oh yeah, tomorrow's live stream, guys, actually it's going to be different. It's a parenting panel for having kids that are gamers. Like, how do you protect your kids from the predatory people in the online gaming community that use it to abduct children, to assault children, to make them depressed, have low self-esteem, treat them like shit, you know. That's how I kind of see. We're gonna have a discussion about that tomorrow night with a lady that's a gamer. She's a gamer, her kids are gamer, and how she uses that to connect with her kids, get to know them better, what inspires them, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Sabs. Yeah, get the modding. There's some fucking psychos in there, man. Yeah, some psychos following them. Yeah, let's go ahead and just knock this last one out. And we'll be good to go. All right, let's start over. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What do you got last for us on the low tonight, Mia?
Well, China vows retaliation after the U.S. blacklists several companies, and China said it will take necessary measures to respond to the U.S. blacklisting over their alleged role in abuses of the Uyghur people and other Muslim ethnic minorities. The Commerce Ministry said the U.S. move I can't talk.
That's all right.
What happened to me? The Commerce Ministry said the U.S. move
constituted. There we go.
I know how to say the word. It's just not happening. Read it. Read it one more time for me.
Okay. The Commerce Ministry said the U.S. move constituted an unreasonable suppression of Chinese enterprises and a serious breach of international economic and trade rules. Again, China will take necessary measures to firmly safeguard Chinese companies' legitimate rights and interests, the ministry statement said. No details were given, but China has denied allegations of arbitrary detention and forced labor in the far west region of Xinjiang, I think it is, and increasingly responded to sanctions against companies and officials with its own ban on visas and financial links. The U.S. Commerce Department said on a Friday statement that the electronics and technology firms and other businesses helped enable Beijing's campaign of repression, mass detention, and high technology surveillance against the Muslim minorities in Xinjiang.
This is a hard one.
X in Mandarin is different though. Xinjiang, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that again. The U.S. Commerce Department said in a statement Friday that the electronics and technology firms and other businesses helped enable Beijing's campaign of repression, mass detention, high technology surveillance against Muslim minorities in Xinjiang. The penalties prohibit Americans from selling equipment and other goods to the firms. The United States has stepped up financial and trade penalties over China's treatments of Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities, along with its crackdown on democracy in the semi-autonomous city of Hong Kong. Yeah, there's been some serious protests going over this, and this is pretty typical for China. They flexed on the NBA, they flexed on other companies, they flexed on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all kinds of control mechanisms. If you don't do what they say and you don't speak ill of Taiwan and call it a Republic of China. So this is pretty typical for them.
Yeah, this next part here is particularly concerning, though. The Chinese government since 2017 has detained 1 million or more people, and critics accuse China of operating forced labor camps and carrying out torture and coerced sterilization, as it allegedly seeks to assimilate Muslim ethnic minority groups. that is some very serious concerns.
That's gross. Yeah.
The U.S. Commerce Department said 14 companies were added to its entity list over their dealings, and another 5 for aiding China's armed forces. It's not a joke or anything like that. It's, we don't pay enough attention at all to what's going on in other places. And I don't even know how true any of it is. That's the thing. It says they're accused of. What's the evidence? I don't know. I need to look into this more.
I've seen some evidence of spy satellites getting things from these so-called accused, concentration camps and labor camps and forced coercions, to assimilate and sterilization is because they have people that have left China and ran to Taiwan or whatever and have, kind of let the cat out of the bag. But this is typical of China today. But this was also typical of the United States 150 years ago. Let's be real. 200 years ago, 300 years ago. We did the same thing to the Native Americans. So,
not just the Native Americans.
Well, just specifically, I'll say that because it is forced assimilation, right? So the forced assimilation of Native Americans specifically. Like, here we go saying tisk tisk to China. But yet we did it to the Native Americans and the African slave trade. We forced assimilation, took the names, took the heritage, took the religion, took their independence, and the whole thing. So for us to be critical of China right now is kind of funny. We won't even make right with reparations with Native Americans and African Americans, ascendants of the slavery, right? So I kind of take this with a little bit of a scoff because we want to point out everybody else's problems and sanction them, but yet we won't even fix our own problems to fix our own injustices here in this country for the exact same things we claim China's doing.
And that's all a problem of an unresponsive government more than the people again, though.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing going on over in China. The people, again, it's also important to separate the population from its government.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, the people living in Israel are not the same as the Israeli government. It's highly right-wing. There are left-wing people struggling for the rights of others as well. There's this tendency to paint countries with the brush of their government, not really think about that the population does not, and often does not, agree with their leadership.
So I would just say to everyone out there that watches this, be critical of China, but also be equally critical of our own country for not righting the wrongs that we've done, that we're pointing our finger at China for right now, for the treatment of the Muslim minorities, for the treatment of the minority party of people anywhere, force them to assimilate, forced sterilizations, which we've done at the fucking border. We've done that in the last 5 years. We've forced sterilizations at our own border. So let's be 100% clear and let's be honest. Let's be consistent. We're still doing some of this shit they're claiming. And we always have.
Messed up too.
We've always have.
We should all be.
I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
They're trying to force sterilization for people that had more than 2 kids on welfare. They've always thrown these ideas out there. So I don't know, man. Just be careful how critical you are of another country, which is still, let's be honest. I'm critical of what China, but I'm trying to be equally critical of our own country for practicing what it doesn't not practicing what it preaches. So we have to be consistent as citizens as well. Be aware that we're just as fucked up as China, just in a different way and a different time.
Yeah, man, it's so. The laws on that shit are so weird. A little side commentary. I'm trying to get sterilized, and they made me wait 4 weeks before I could sign a consent form. Mm-hmm. Not like I came in thinking I was like going to sign the consent form and prepare for that in like a few weeks, and I'm not even allowed to like say yes, I'm okay with this until 4 weeks after
Wait a minute.
that separate appointment.
There's a 4-week waiting period before they let you do it?
Before they let me consent to doing it.
Right. But there's not a wait list for a gun.
And the guy said, use forced sterilizations as the excuse why I have to wait 4 weeks. Like he said, down in Cuba, they were forced sterilizations and all that sort of thing. What is 4 weeks going to do to stop somebody who's being influenced? That, there's no other intervention involved. Therefore, this is just like security theater.
Right. And not just that, is what will increase, what's most likely to happen? You get pregnant. They want to force people to have babies, specifically white babies. Let's be real. They want more white children being born without your own consent. And that's kind of how I see it, man. These abortion clinics are in minority population, in minority areas, not in the suburbs. Let's just think about that. It's no, fuck all. It's gross. But yeah, so that's what we're up against, right? We're calling a spade without calling our own spade a spade. Like, we have to be consistent and honest. And guys, you will not hear this conversation on mainstream media. Let me tell you. You might hear it on the Kyle Kalinske show. You might hear it on Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar. And here, that's it. And I don't know of any others that really do push back, except maybe like Jimmy. What's his name? Jimmy something.
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore might push back on this type of stuff too. He's pretty out there too. I like it. Yeah, definitely DJ Elf. Yeah, fuck him, right? But that's the thing, guys. I'm critical of things, but we have to remember to be critical of ourselves, man. Be honest. Our government has yet to give reparations for slavery. You know, we have yet to give true reparations for Native Americans. And for all the Asian Americans that were disposed of during the railroads and stuff like that, just used and abused and threw in a massive ditch to connect our railroads coast to coast.
The Japanese
assimilation in that country. What's that?
The Japanese internment camps.
Yes. Oh, fuck. Yeah, man. That's a very good point. We have done some fucking serious atrocities here, man. But again, you won't hear the mainstream media being critical of our own government because it's bought and paid for. It's just the way it is. And how do we change it? Stop giving them your fucking eyeballs. Stop clicking on their links. Stop following them on social media. Stop engaging with their content. Go check out the Kyle Kalinske. Go check out other independent media sources. Like I said, Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar, Jimmy Dore. I've kind of left the TYT realm altogether. They're pretty fucked up over there right now. They got some problems. And of course, the Trickle Up, we're trying to be as broad as we can and be honest and consistent as we can be. I know we all have our biases, but we have to be honest, you know. And like I said, I brought a talking point that supports Medicare for all, single payer, even though I don't agree with it. It's a good talking point. That's justified to me, even if I don't agree with it. I think it should be said, you know. So that's what we're trying to bring here, guys, is more balanced approaches and recognize that we don't all have to agree to even get along and move forward either. You know, there's my little soapbox.
My biggest goal, my biggest hope is that we help push ideas that no matter which side they're from, alleviate suffering. That's the most important thing. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, the government's supposed to govern, i.e., help the population thrive.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't thriving right now. That needs to be fixed.
No, about 10% of us are. That's about it. Yep. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think about in the comments section. How do you see this thing playing out? What is your fears? Like, what could China do that would hurt us economically? What could China do to hurt us? I guess it's only economically it really hurt us. But that does have ramifications, economics, you know. So we've seen that during COVID. When the stock market takes a shit, we all suffer. because it represents the rich people's feelings, really. So let us know what you, yeah, exactly. So let us know what you guys think about that in the comments section. While you're here, of course, give the video a like, leave us a comment on what you think about this, and share and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. And next time, as like always, go read a book. All right. Cool.
I'm sorry. I'm getting images of the Monopoly man in different stages of happiness to represent the stock market.
Exactly. The stock market is rich people's feelings. I don't have a single dime in the stock market. None.
Nell helps me get some.
Yeah.
I've got something in I believe it's AMC that I
have
not touched. It's just sitting there. It always shall. And Nokia, a little bit in Nokia.
Well, that's awesome to know to help you out with that, man. That's real shit right there.
I wanted to be part of the thing, the hold thing.
Yeah.
You know, I can sit on that forever. I don't mind. I'm not playing the stock market. I don't have time for that.
But here's the thing. Let's say you got $100 in there. There's someone else that got $1 million. It's their feelings that get reflected, not ours.
But if enough of us do it and hold, that's the idea.
On certain stocks, yes. Yep. That are over leveraged, over borrowed against, you know. But yeah, I have not been in a financial place with 4 kids to be able to afford to buy stock and not worry about it. Like I bought some Bitcoin and some Ethereum and some Doge. And I said, okay, this is going to be I went into it with the idea of a short-term investment, which worked out for me. So I put in X amount of dollars and it went up by 50% in about 2 weeks because I got in before Elon Musk said anything about it. And bam, it started shooting up. And then I got out when it doubled. You know, it went from 30,000 to 60,000. I got the fuck out. And I got all my money doubled. You know, so that's how I got to go to New York. That's how I got to give my daughters a good graduation gift and my girlfriend a nice present for her birthday. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to order a couch sometime soon. Like little things like that. I bought a new pair of running shoes, you know, a new pair of work pants and work shirts and stuff like that. So like I made a small bet with a little bit of money. I doubled it and bought a few things that I needed to do. And just a short, like long term, if I'd have left my money in there, it'd be right back down to where it started at. Cause it really was, it went right back down to where it started at 30,000 roughly. So I just got lucky, man. But
I'm out at the right time.
Yeah, I got it. Kind of. I could have done better, but it's pretty damn good. I didn't lose money, which is half the battle. But yeah, so like the stock market is not for most people, period. As a serious investment, like for most of us, we don't get a serious investment there. But there are some. Yeah, JJ says headed to space. Oh wait, is that China headed to space? Yeah, China's in space. Like they're on the moon, I think, right now. Or they have a rover on Mars or some shit. I can't remember what it was.
A billionaire went to space today too, right? For like
really?
5 minutes.
Was that guy from Virgin Mobile?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. It's like Richard something.
Richard Branson.
Thank you.
Richard Branson.
He's just he creeps me out in a weird way. I don't know. He's very weird to me. I don't know.
I think his whole look is what's weird.
Well, like, man, the way he talks too. It's like all hippy dippy, but
wishful. He's very wishful.
Yeah.
He goes, imagine a place where all people, no matter age, sex, creed, religion, financial stability, can go to space. I'm like, yeah, okay. I just imagined it, and it's fucking ridiculous to get there. Like,
oh, I know how it happens. Everybody can go to space to work on the mines.
Go to the asteroid belt, literally like Avatar and shit.
If everybody gets to go to space, it's not going to be because of some benevolence. There is going to be somebody exploiting workers in space.
People and resources. Absolutely. But JJ's got a point here. Big plans with the moon. I think the moon's going to become a space station for fuel. if they found oxygen, which is in water, they found water, frozen water under there, they can mine that, turn and manipulate it to make rocket fuel pretty much. So I think that's possible. That's just a place you land on the moon, you rest up, you load up all your shit, and you just and it takes 1/6 the resources to launch.
Also, if you can do your building on the moon, yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
The 1/6 the resources, your escape from gravity is significantly lower on the moon than anywhere else. So if you had like few 3D printer factories up there pumping out a couple of dragons and sent them out.
Yeah. I wonder if they're doing any mining on the moon. I wonder like what kind of sediments underneath that top layer they could probably start mining to build shit there instead of taking the resources here to build it there, type of thing. You never know. But I do believe they have some plans for that. We've been there 7-8 times in the past, and now they're gonna, sorry flat earthers, we've been there several times. You can actually look up with a strong power telescope, and see the landing. Nitrogen. There you go. Yeah, that's how they make it's rocket fuel, right? Nitrogen. Anyways, hydrocarbons of some sort. But yeah, so there is a big deal on the moon. It's just not for us yet, of course. But yeah, guys, you go ahead and wrap it up, Mia. I'll go ahead and get the editing and blah blah blah. We'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry that I flubbed so much tonight. Like I said, the sleep has been reversed. It's not a good thing for me. I'm
so you're probably gonna be up all night with the kid. Yeah, man, that's tough.
Yeah. He didn't wake up till 9 o'clock
p.m.
So, yeah, like just as we were starting here, he was getting up, and
that's rough.
There's no waking him up either. Man, he just you can say, I sat there saying his name for 10-15 minutes, and he just snored at me.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, me. I know it's a challenge. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and she'll be back on Sunday, of course. Tomorrow's our parenting panel for parents with kids and gaming, and talk about how we can use that to build a relationship with our kids and understand our kids better, and then keep them safe from online predators.
I'll be on UBI updates again tomorrow too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's at 5 p.m. Eastern, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's on Clubhouse. Okay, so you guys make sure you check that out too. I'll actually put a post up about it on Twitter myself. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us, man. We're gonna kill this bad boy and get